I'm Blake Schofield, founder and CEO of The Bridge to Fulfillment, mom to 3, USA Today top 10 professional coach, and former corporate executive who got tired of sacrificing my life for a comfortable paycheck. My mission is to expand women's perspectives and empower them to achieve greater impact at home and work without sacrifice. This is The Bridge to Fulfillment. Momentum. It's the force that keeps an object moving. You likely probably haven't thought about momentum since maybe the days of physics. But today we're going to talk about momentum in terms of your momentum cycle and how understanding that can really open up the doors to you for more energy, more productivity, and ultimately more joy and ease in your life. We often talk about momentum, especially in physics, in terms of an object in motion stays in motion. There's a huge benefit in ease when you're already moving towards something. And on the flip side, an object at rest stays at rest. So one of the hardest things can be is when you feel stuck or trapped or you don't have momentum, getting momentum and building momentum. But what you might not think about is that there are actually risks to momentum. There are risks to where we're spending our time. Are the things that we're spending our time on actually gaining us momentum on the right things? Or are we gaining momentum on things that either aren't valuable, aren't adding to our lives, or aren't things that we really want? Then there's the risk of losing momentum. You had that ease and flow, and then all of a sudden everything becomes hard, sticky, painful, takes a lot longer. And there's also the risk of going so fast that you push too long on a momentum cycle and you end up crashing and burning. You know, there's a balance in art and science to understanding your own rhythms of momentum and the right pace for you, to understanding when to push on the gas because you have a clear road ahead and when to slow down and look around so that you don't crash. So why does this matter? Because most of us think that momentum isn't something we have control over. But that just isn't true. I tend to find people fall into one of two camps. Either the camp of feeling like their circumstances are really stopping them from doing what they want, and then boom, right? Now they're an object at rest, trapped, not moving. And now it takes so much more energy to get moving. Or the second camp, doing. Schedule so overfilled that there's no space and time for any new ideas, new opportunities, or many times to actually take a 30,000-foot view and look at what's really meaningful and prioritize what really matters. And so there's just all this activity going on, but it's not really momentum in the right direction. It's just a lot of momentum going in many different ways, but not actually moving you and building towards the life or the career that you want. And so, like I said, learning your rhythms is critical. Understanding what causes you to gain momentum and what causes you to lose it is key. So how do you know when you're in momentum? I would describe it as being in flow. Everything sort of comes easy. It almost feels like you have the wind at your back. You're doing things without even really recognizing the amount of time that passes. And you feel like you're just consistently accomplishing the things that you want. You feel clear. And the actions are pretty easy to take. That's what momentum feels like. And we want to learn how to be in momentum for longer and longer periods of time because that makes everything easier, more efficient, more joyful. What does it feel like when you don't have momentum? Frustrating, sticky, hard. Things that should be simple aren't. You struggle to feel like you want to take action, especially the more and more you lose momentum. Right? You might start feeling like you just don't have any energy, don't have any interest in doing things you used to. That's what happens on the flip side. And so I want to share this with you today because, again, this has been one of the most impactful things to me to really begin to understand, is to begin to look at the patterns in my life and understand what actually puts me into momentum and flow. What am I doing during those time frames? And then what happens when I start to lose momentum? And what is that teaching me? And how can I use that to make sure that I maybe slow down the pace a little bit to keep the momentum going without crashing and burning? So my challenge for you today, I want you to sit and journal for a couple of minutes and just Maybe journal for a couple minutes every day for the next week or week and a half. And look at your day. Where did I have energy? Where were things easy? And what was I doing during those time frames? And on the flip side, when did things feel hard or painful? Or just, I didn't really want to do something. And then look at what were you doing then, or what were those activities? And you can begin to see patterns that will help you understand what it is that you're doing that works for you and some areas that you may want to shift or change so that, again, you're not losing momentum. And then the very last thing I want to share with you, if you're listening to this and you're like, gosh, I really would love to have momentum and flow. It's been so long since I felt any of that. I don't even know what to do. I just am so burned out, drained, and exhausted at the end of the day that I'm just really surviving. I want you to know when you feel stuck like that, it is critical to make a change in what you're doing. Because again, the longer you stay at rest, the harder it's going to be to get back into motion. So again, think then, if you're in that situation, think about times in the past of things that gave you energy that you really loved, and just add at least one of those activities to your life this week. If you loved to go take a run, go add that to what you're going to do. If going to the movies or going out with girlfriends. What we often don't realize is it just takes a little shift into something that gives us momentum to start to build. And that little shift will build and give you more energy to take another action. And the more actions you start taking towards the things that give you momentum, the more energy you have, the more momentum you build, right? And then the more ease of everything else that you do. Again, thanks so much for joining me today on the Bridge to Fulfillment. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks for joining me today. Rather than hope the grass will be greener, identify what the right next step is. We can help you do just that. Get clarity on where you are in your journey to career fulfillment, where you're headed, optimal paths to get there, and the right next step to take. Start your complimentary personalized career fulfillment plan at www.thebridgetofulfillment.com/plan. Again, you can get your personalized career fulfillment plan at thebridgetofulfillment.com/plan. Thanks again for joining and have a great week ahead.